Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about DC and Warner Brothers. We've got a new DCU project that has been rumored and it's pretty certain that it's actually going to be developed. And also we got this big news in regards to DC and Warner Brothers. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so we're going to break down this huge news from Variety. It's in regards to the Warner Brothers merger and everything that they've been doing in terms of their business, in terms of the projects that they're trying to get involved at the studio, and it's all linked to DC. But we're going to get into this. Bear with me as we break down the article, but link as always will be in the description below if you want to go ahead and read it yourself. So in January, Warner Brothers chiefs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi jetted to London to connect with the new crown jewel of the studio, Tom Cruise. I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the channel when it happened, that Tom Cruise is basically joined Warner Brothers and he's going to be producing films with them, and so that's obviously huge in terms of, you know, the projects that he's got like Edge of Tomorrow, but also he could potentially get involved in other projects, including DC projects. That's not beyond the realm of possibility. They say the three met to identify a film that would kick off their non-exclusive strategic partnership, and sources say a raft of possibilities were discussed, including an Edge of Tomorrow sequel and also Quentin Tarantino's next film, The Movie Critic, which currently isn't lined up with a distributor. And Warner Brothers, like every other major studio, is salivating over trying to get Quentin Tarantino's final film. But let's move on, because we got something really interesting to talk about in regards to what is happening at Warner Brothers and how it may affect DC. So the strategy right now at Warner Brothers, and the reason that they made some of these big star deals, which they've also got Margot Robbie involved as well as Tom Cruise, is basically they're playing with other people's money. They're shopping for Quentin and also Tom Cruise with the notion that they can use them as a shiny object that is going to be additive when Zaslav sells the company. So there you have it. This is what he is planning to do. As we previously talked about, there's been rumors that David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers and Discovery, basically wants to sell the company. He wants to merge potentially with a Universal, or potentially they could take in someone like Paramount. That has been lots of talks. And obviously they couldn't entertain it properly as of like when it was first announced, because they can't actually go into those conversations and even entertain offers because of legal reasons in America to do with mergers. And basically Warner Brothers and Discovery only merged like, I don't know, a year or so ago, and so it's not been that long, so there is obviously restrictions, but it seems he is trying to be smart about it and get big names in like Tom Cruise and Tarantino and even Christopher Nolan they could bring back. And so this is all part of a strategic plan in order to make Warner Brothers seem more financially viable, because we know that they've got big financial troubles right now, and so this obviously would be like a big selling point to someone like Universal to get a hold of, you know, all of these different projects, but also get DC as well, which obviously is one of their biggest factors in terms of like why they are actually appealing. And so that time may be approaching, because in April, like that's not far away, Warner Brothers Discovery can entertain offers to buy, sell or merge with a studio like NBC Universal, as many on the lot believe will happen. So there you have it. That is Variety just saying straight up, in April they can start entertaining offers. They can think about buying like a smaller studio like Paramount, which I've previously talked about. I don't think it's a good idea because there'll be less, you know, content out there in the market, and also I don't like the idea of Warner Brothers merging into Universal. That is really bad, because they are two of the biggest companies in terms of film and TV production. And basically they can actually entertain these offers to merge, buy or sell their company, like, because that's what David Zaslav seems to want to do because of the financial situation that they find themselves in. And obviously the financial struggles of Warner Brothers has been coming for a long time. There have been so many mergers. We had AT&T, who owned Warner Brothers before they obviously got taken over by Discovery, and it seems Discovery is ready to move on and David Zaslav is ready to move on, because it seems just money wise it's just not working out for them. And so yeah, this is obviously a big move for Warner Brothers, and it's a big move for DC. So let's talk about DC a little bit, because if this merger goes through, it could be owned by another company like obviously Universal, if they were the ones to come in and merge with them. Universal is, I think, technically the biggest studio, so I think it would absorb Warner Brothers, kind of like how Disney absorbed Fox, even though Fox was a big studio itself. It's just that Disney was bigger and they were the ones buying it. And so with this, obviously you would see probably like a big change in DC, and with what they're trying to build right now with DC Studios, James Gunn and Peter Safran, obviously I think you would see a big change every time there is a regime change. You can feel it within DC. Like over the course of the DCEU, we had so many people who were different, who were in charge, whether it's like DC specific people like Jim Lee being in charge, or Jeff Johns, or more corporate people who have been in charge for a while. You can see all the different changes and shifts. Like at first they tried to build out a big DCEU universe with Man of Steel going into Batman vs Superman, then Justice League like really quickly, and you had Wonder Woman as well. But then you went on a break a little bit and we went for like Shazam, we went for Joker, we went for the Batman, we went for, you know, individual films, and we've just come to the end of that era, right? Where you've had some successful films, but you've had some flops, like Birds of Prey didn't do well, and then you've kind of had other films that haven't done so well, obviously due to the circumstances, like Blue Beetle, and Shazam 2 didn't do very well. So, you know, it's been very hit and miss, and I understand that, you know, business-wise they're spending a lot of money, and I think it's stupid amounts of money in my opinion on these DC projects, and because they're not seeing like big returns, like $1 billion plus like the first Aquaman or Joker, or even doing as well as the Batman approaching $1 billion. Obviously giving a film a $200 million plus budget like The Flash or like Aquaman or any of the other projects that have been so high in budget and basically flopped like Black Adam, it's just not smart business. And I actually blame Warner Brothers in terms of the decisions that they made in terms of their movies and just, you know, ballooning all the budgets. Like for instance, Todd Phillips's Joker sequel, obviously the first film was made for about $60 million, which is fairly reasonable and fairly low budget for a superhero or superhero related film. This regime has ballooned this budget for the sequel to $200 million. Like, why does Joker 2 need to have $200 million? Right, I understand maybe it has double the budget at $120 million, but why does it have to go from 60 to $200 million? I think that's just such a waste of money, and I think it's just like actual bad business, because you can't guarantee Joker 2 is gonna make $1 billion and you make 800 million on top of the 200 you spend. Like, that's not a guarantee in this industry right now. So I think the decisions that they have been making haven't been smart at all, and I think they're really at their own fault for, you know, the potential downfall of Warner Brothers Discovery, because they've just let all of this go. And I don't think you need to pay Joaquin Phoenix $20 million, then pay Lady Gaga $12 million to play Harley Quinn and Joker in a Joker sequel that is a musical. Like, why does the Joker sequel have to be $200 million? Anyway, this is just me ranting about why I think, you know, Warner Brothers kind of set themselves up to fail and set DC up to fail, because they've been ballooning all their budgets just like Marvel does, up to insane amounts of money, and now they're complaining, oh, we need to sell the company because we don't make enough money. Well, that's your own fault. That's just like my opinion, right? This is what they're trying to do right now, and they're trying to sell the company or merge it, and I believe it actually will happen. I don't know how soon it will be, but there's definitely going to be talks come April when they're allowed to talk about it. But for now, let's move on to the next main topic and the final topic. This is to do with DC Studios, because they've announced a new untitled film based on the 2022 limited comic series, The Jurassic League. Now, this is according to Jeff Snyder. I'll leave a link in the description below to the place where he actually talked about this. And so the Jurassic League, if you guys didn't know, is basically a take on an alternate reality where the Justice League are dinosaurs. Like, they're talking dinosaurs, and it's an interesting comic. I really don't know how it would actually play out. I would say it would probably be best in animation, and I'm fairly certain that it's probably going to be an animated film or a TV show because I just don't see them doing a live action version of the Jurassic League where you have the Justice League in an alternate reality, you know, being CGI dinosaurs. Like, it's a really cool concept and it's a good comic book, but I just don't see them actually doing it. And also apparently it's going to not be called the Jurassic League to avoid brand confusion. We know that film studios are terrified of anything being confused, especially with, you know, the recent news that Warner Brothers has said to the CW, please end Superman and Lois because we don't want two Supermans at the same time when Superman Legacy comes out. So yeah, it's going to be called something different, but I think this is actually be a really interesting project. I would love to see it in an animated form. I would definitely be lining up to watch it when it comes out. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.